Welcome back. We are showing off our updated Tear-Horus deck list that we took to locals and went undefeated with. Let's jump right into it. We have a Foolish Barrel for consistency, send away to fuse. Foolish Barrel goods, basically search out any trap or spell that we need. And then after that, we got 3 of our planets to grab our monster, grab an attack boost, and when we fuse, pop one of their cards. 3 Scream, 2 Solic, 1 Trivi Karma. Pretty standard there for our tier stuff. We're not playing any meta noise, but we are siding it. We will get to that later, though. Then we have 3 Kashtira, Fenrir, that is, to grab our Tearlaments Kashtira, just to search a way to start milling, get stuff going, plus Kashtira Fenrir on the board is a threat in and of himself. Helps go in second. Then we have as many tier names as we can play. There is absolutely no argument to be had here with these ones. If there was more, we would simply play more. Although I will add, just seeing a Rhino in by himself and not having anything else, not always the best option if you don't have any way to mill. Then we have some choices here. We went with 3 Nessie and 1 Destrudo. Just Destrudo so we can make a Baron, plus some extra link fodder. Nessie, I debated cutting because he can play into a Droll more, but I didn't get hit with Droll at all, and I love how he's a Dark Aqua just to use for fusion material with. There was plenty of times where if I don't have him engraved, there's just nothing for me to fuse into and make. So I think he's pretty much a necessity. Plus he's a level 7 to use in tandem with him to get into our Baron. We have some tech choices here. We went with playing 3 Super Poly in the main deck. This is basically just our best going second option. I like it a lot. 1 Called By. It's Called By. It's good. I like it. Now, here's where we might differentiate from other Tear-Horus builds. We are playing 1 Walls of the Imperial Tomb along with our King Sark. I feel like the horror stuff just does so much that we want to see it as often as we can. I don't want to play more of these just because, as mentioned before with the Nesties, I don't want to play into Droll too much. But if I keep not running into Droll, we might try bumping it up and see what happens. Then for the actual Horus names themselves, I am on 1 Domatef, 1 Happy, and then 3... Sorry, Imseti, for dropping you. 3 of the Imsetis. I was playing 4, it bricked too much, but I do like playing 3 just because of the fodder that they can be used for to make different link monsters. And that's it for the main deck. Let's show you that extra here. For our synchros, we just got 1 Baron to put up a negate. We got Sprint, send to make send our Merly to fuse. An SP, good going second. I don't absolutely love it going first. If it's one of the only things that we're ending on, I'm better off just ending on nothing, honestly. We have an Appaloosa. I put this in because of our horror stuff. The extra bodies that we're able to get makes this a lot easier to get into and a lot better than it would normally be. Our Cross Sheep, this is mainly just to make our Sprint, but it's revived from the grave. If a fusion monster is summoned to it, could come up, could make going into. Some of our XC plays a little easier. And as mentioned, we got our Bahamut Shark and our Toad. Another way to make a negate for boards, or I guess I should say for decks that we're going against that we know make us go second, that we need to put up some sort of hard negate to counter a board breaker like a Lightning Storm or something of the sort, evenly. This or Baron is an absolute necessity. If you can put up 1 of that in some of our other tier interaction, you just save this for as long as possible to try and contest either a Tactics evenly or like a Lightning Storm, if Lightning Storm would come up, which hasn't really. We also have a Time Thief Redoer. This guy actually saved me from... Well, this guy was the difference of me going undefeated and me actually getting a full match loss. Him simply detaching as part of his effect so that way we could fuse with our Sheeran was very clutch. I almost didn't put him in, but after testing with them some more and playing with them at our locals, I don't think he's coming out. We have our zombie vampire to use in tandem with our horror stuff. One of the reasons why they're so good. Gets most of our stuff going. Gets to take a peek at what our opponent's playing. Here's an interesting thing that we're doing here. We are on 2 Kaleido. This does come up, and when it comes up, you're going to be so thankful that you have 2. He is a very big target to get out of your grave by your opponent. They will be looking to banish him every way you can. And that scenario did happen to me. And having that second one was super imperative to helping me actually win a game. So I would not change this. Then speaking of 2s, we do have 2 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. Use one to make our Bahamut Shark. On top of that, if we do go that line, we'll still have one in our extra live and ready for a Super Poly target, which does come up. Then we also got our Dracostapelia and our Garura. Super Poly target, but also he does get made quite often just by virtue of us having fusions in our grave, like for instance, our Garura if need to. Him drawing a card was pretty clutch a bunch of times when he gets sent to the grave. We drew into something that changed the whole course of the game on 2 separate occasions just by virtue of him drawing a card. And now let's get into our side deck. This one will be a little faster. We got 3 Sphere Mode. I hate Towers decks, and this clears 3 bad guys. That's all that really needs to be said about him. And we do have a nice Ghost Rare. But that's not why we played it. Then we have 3 Imperm, each of different rarity. We got 1 QCR, 1 Secret, 1 Gold. I think the QCR makes it better. Whenever we side this in, this is the one that we draw, the QCR. So if you don't have a QCR, maybe pick it up. It'll help you draw it. Then we got 3 Ash. This was mainly just for branded or a Labyrinth deck. It seems to be the best hand trap to stop those. We actually didn't even side this in at all. Then we got 3 Space Rock. This is for Fire King or any other longer combo deck that 1 interaction alone doesn't end. So like for instance for Fire King, we side in this and our Chicken. And then we have our 1 of Tear Traps. We have our Tear Element's Crime, always siding going second, or always siding game 2 if we know we're going first. The Tear Element's Meta Noise. We didn't side this in, but if we were playing against a Cash Tier deck or our opponent was on one, I would put this in. Just didn't come up. And then we have a Tear Element's Heartbeat. I did side this in anytime I was against any deck with a continuous field spell, continuous trap, or just a trap deck in general. Good card, wouldn't take it out, just wouldn't main deck it. And there you have it. Hannah, dude, the sign off.
Bye.